I am often surprised, if not flat out perplexed, at the existence of some video games. Take Barbie Horse Adventures for example. Why on earth does this game exist? Another example is the Army Men franchise. Who the fuck is playing these games? Eminem's Shell Shocked is no exception to this. I can't find a single reason for this shit to have ever been developed by anyone. The company who created this, Boston Animation, is also responsible for another game called Darkened Sky, where you had to collect Skittles in order to use the magic system. Now there was actually a plot in that game, which makes it a little less stupid, but there's little to no plot in this.
Well, my yellow fellow, it's time these M&Ms had a little R&R.
R&R? Is that a new candy? Are we being phased out?
We are going on vacation. Come on. One last thing before we arrivederci. Who did you leave in charge of the candy factory? Hello? Repeat after me. I did not leave the M&M's Minis in charge of the candy factory. There's a Minis mutiny going on. They've stolen the formulas for all the M&M's candies. Stop those Minis! Find those formulas! Go, go, go!
Beyond that, it's pretty hard to call Eminem's Shell Shocked a real game. Just look at this menu. It's like they didn't even try. You can turn your music and sound effects volume up and down, and that's all you have for the options. The play option takes you to the actual game, where levels are divided into segments that you have to beat. This is where Eminem's Shell Shocked really starts to show how bad it is. The first segments are driving segments, with some of the most monotonous controls ever. Since you're basically being pushed across the level, the movement of your car feels very odd. The maneuvering is also bad because you can't make rapid turns. I can't tell you how many damn times I died trying to get out of the way of one of these opposing cars. Speaking of, the enemies come out of nowhere and are literally out of control to the point where they hit themselves sometimes. Now level 1 isn't too bad, minus a segment or two where it's almost impossible to dodge enemy cars like this. Level 2 is harder, and some of the obstacles here are just fucking ridiculous. The biggest problem with this horrible level is that your perspective on the upcoming cars is always obscured because you're going upwards and can't change the trajectory of your camera, which results in shit like this. Oh, and by the way, if you hit the sidewalk, you die, which means that you're gonna die a lot. Another thing about this game in general is that the hit detection only works whenever it feels like it. Here I managed to dodge this car, but here I got killed and it doesn't even look like I touched it. Level 3 is easily the worst of all these driving levels because you have motorcyclists coming at you from every angle. What the fuck are they even doing? It looks like they're escorting you somewhere. Other obstacles include cows that sometimes even kill the bikers. The fatal flaw with this level is a combination of the shit maneuvering, the shit hit detection, and the shit biker array where you almost ram into a wall, despite the fact that the biker isn't even coming after you. Now that's just the driving section of this game. After that, there's a platforming section of this game which worried me because the last platformer I played that was only created to be milked for money was fucking atrocious. Rest assured, this isn't that bad, but it's still shitty. The controls range from halfway decent to trash, and a big problem still plaguing these levels is the shoddy hit detection. There's also big camera problems. This game was released in 2001 after Super Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, and Tomb Raider. You'd think these people would get a goddamn clue about how to maneuver in 3D space without it being a complete clusterfuck, but no. They failed with this level, and more importantly, they failed with this entire game. Because something I haven't mentioned yet is that this isn't the original Eminem's Shell Shocked. There was a game called Eminem's The Lost Formula that was basically this game, just with a little bit of educational stuff. From what I've seen of it, it looks a lot better than this. How they managed to take out the educational features from a game and make it even worse and more boring perplexes me even more than the very existence of this piece of garbage. Eminem's Shell Shocked gets the final rating of bullshit.